vai falar para vocês sobre paixão, dor e persistência. Muito obrigado.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Hi. I'm told that if I don't go too far there, and if I don't go too far there, I can stay here and you hear me. Okay? So, but I think it's better to be down here closer to you. So, hi, great to meet you. Great to meet you. And hi to our translators. Thank you. The partners. Okay. All right, so this is an amazing place, isn't it? This is incredible. Who's been here since the start of Campus Party? Who's living here? Incredible. Amazing. I love it. Okay. All right, so we're here to talk about passion, pain, and persistence. I want to tell you a little bit about me because, you know, you've been told that I'm a professor from Spain, but like, well, who is this guy? You know, who is this guy? So, I'm from there, Sydney, and I've been living in Spain for 5 years. I haven't been a professor all the time. I started being a philosopher. Has anybody studied philosophy? I didn't think so. Okay. Well, I studied it at a university for many years, and then I gave it up. Then I did many things. I worked for an airline. I worked for a bank. I worked for a consultancy. And then I worked in venture capital, investing in startup companies, which was so much fun. I loved it. And that got me started in entrepreneurship. And when I was working at the airline, I was a software programmer. I was cutting code. Who cuts code? Who's coding? Great, great. Well, I was coding in a language called PL1. And in computer terms, that's ancient Greek. Has anybody programmed in PL1? No. You don't have to do it anymore. You're lucky. But I did that. I did programming, systems analysis, data design, so I'm with you. I know what that's like. I also worked in a startup company, a software startup. Who's working in a software startup or wants to? Who's got a startup going? Great. Okay, well, I worked in a startup company, and the startup company was based at the Fox movie studios. The Music Rises, all right? Fox Movies. And one day, we had a cafe downstairs. It's a bit like this. It was just crazy. And at this studio, this is where they made Star Wars. You know Star Wars? Seen Star Wars? Yeah? And one day, one of the guys, he came back with the coffee, and he said, guess who I just saw in the cafe? Who do you think he saw in the cafe? Huh? No? Huh? Star Wars. Any ideas? He saw Darth Vader in the cafe. Cool. So, that was fun. After that, I worked there for a while. Then I worked at a big university where I was creating startup companies from the technologies in the laboratory. Who's done research in technology stuff? Nobody? Okay, well, we were doing that, yep. And we started a number of companies. That was a medical company for eye problems. We did another medical company for pain. That company still exists. They're doing really well. The first one died. That happens. And then we did another technology company, and that one did really well, but that died too. So 1 out of 3 isn't bad. That's sort of normal. Anyway, you can see that I was doing a lot of entrepreneurship and loving it. And then I decided to become a professor in Madrid. of entrepreneurship, which I think is just so much fun. I mean, it's fun. What you're doing is so much fun. So that's a bit about me. So that's why I'm here. And for me, it's amazing. It's amazing. You know, the guy who was doing philosophy, here I am. It's so much fun. So, I've got a question for you all. I'd like everybody, hi, you're just in time for the question. I'd like everybody to think about a time when you were creative. Anything, anywhere, anytime. Think about a time somewhere where you were creative. It could have been today, last week, 10 years ago, whatever. Think about that just for 1 minute. And I'll have a drink of water. How you going? You thinking about that? When was I creative? This is where a minute seems like forever. Okay. Everybody got an idea? Yeah? Now, what I want you to do is turn to somebody else, the person sitting next to you, or 2 or 3 people, and tell each other about your creativity for a few minutes. So talk to each other about your creativity. Okay? Talk. You can. You're alone. Okay, how are we going? All right. What I'd like to do now, thank you for that, is just ask a few people to tell us in one word what kind of thing you were thinking about or talking about. So what kind of thing were you thinking about or talking about? So let's start over here. Who can I ask? Who can I ask? Who's going to tell us? Sir, what were you thinking about? You don't. What were you thinking about? Yeah? Who can answer my question? Yeah.
Can you ask again, please?
What, in one word, what kind of activity were you thinking about in terms of creativity?
My activity.
Yeah.
Writing.
Writing. This man was thinking about writing. Any other ideas? Huh? Food. Someone was thinking about food and creativity. Who else? Anybody else? Eh?
Getting someone, expensive fashion.
Ah. Fashion. Fashion. Any other ideas? Huh? Anybody else?
Kids.
Kids, children. Being creative with children, working with children. So we've got writing, food, children, huh? Building, buildings, building creativity. Great. Okay, we could all think of something. We've got writing, fashion, building, children. I think maybe a few people could talk about software, maybe, right? Okay, what do you think we can learn from this kind of thought? If we're all thinking about the things we've done that were creative, what can we learn? And you can answer in Portuguese. That's fine, of course. Any ideas? What can we learn? Can I ask a question? Who did not have something to think about? Who was not thinking about something creative? That's what I thought. What I learned from this is that when we think about all of our creativity, what I find is we're all creative. We're all creative. And in many different ways. From food to writing to building to... And we could continue to think about that. Have you ever thought about that? That you are a creative person? You are. I'm sure you are. And it's fantastic. And this place is just full of creativity. It's amazing. Here's another question. I want you to think about this. What are you passionate about? Think about that one. What excites you? What is your passion? I'm not going to ask you to tell me, but think about, what is my passion? What excites me? Now, think about your creativity and your passion. Was anybody thinking about the same thing? Yeah? Yeah. Many people, I think many people would say, yeah, it's almost the same thing. Why? Why is it that when we think about creativity and we think about passion, we're thinking about the same thing? Why? Any ideas? Let's think about that. Why is it the same thing? Because what does passion do for us? What does it do? It excites us. It gets us to imagine. It gives us energy. Yeah? And we do challenging things. So passion and creativity are a powerful combination. And I'm sure you're all creative and you're all passionate. So I don't have to convince you about that. I do believe that almost every human being can be creative and passionate. I can't pronounce it properly, but Paixão. Right, passion. There's all sorts of passions. Love. There's a good passion. And it comes in many colors. Yeah? Choose your color of love. Passion. Freedom. Who wants to be free? Is that one reason you're here? Freedom. The technology world. Connecting the world. There's a great passion. We see it here all the time. Whoop. Money. Money. It's okay, yeah? Yeah, that's okay. You know. You can have a passion for money. I'm okay with that. That's great. Do it in the right way, yeah? Right? Do it in the right way. Passion for money. Great. changing the world. Who has a passion to change the world in some way? You want to make it a better place, a different place. Absolutely. Yeah? And technology, and that's going to help that happen, right? Fantastic. Passion to change the world. And you can see how our passion to change the world is going to release creativity to actually make it happen. Awesome. And then a passion to build great teams, to build a company. Who's got a passion to build a company? You know, employ people. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. So building companies is a great passion. We need more of that. Fantastic. So there's passion. Here's some examples. Do you know who that is? The founder of Alibaba, Jack Ma. And you know how he started? Yeah. He started as a very humble software guy. He didn't even have a background in software, right? Years ago in China, and now what? Last year, the most valuable IPO in history. And he's changing the world. Okay. Who's that? Here's another passionate guy. Really passionate guy. Yeah, you get 2 out of 3. Okay. That's Muhammad Yunus, who founded the Grameen Bank, which has revolutionized lending to the poor. Have you heard of microfinance, microfinancia, lending small amounts of money to help people? He started that years ago, and he won the Nobel Prize for doing that. One more. Who's that? You got it. 3 out of 3. Madonna. Yeah, passionate, creative. And do you know what Madonna has created? Like Alibaba, Jack Ma, Grameen Bank. What did Madonna create? Madonna created Madonna. Passionate, creative. And they're all entrepreneurs in different ways. In different ways. So there's passion. Now, what is it about passion? You know, we all have it. But when you think about what passion does for us, is the glass half full or half empty when you're passionate? Which one? Half full? Half full? Yeah. It's half full, right? Because passion makes us optimistic. It gives us hope. You know, you look forward, you dream, you imagine. So passion is a great source of being motivated to do more, to be creative. Powerful. Now, there's also pain. Dor. Pain. I'd like you to think for a minute. Here's another question I'm going to ask you. Okay, here. So another question coming. What gets in the way of your passion? And maybe think about it today, right now. Think about what you were thinking about. What is my passion? Cooking, working with children, creating a company, making money. Think about a big passion that you have. What is stopping you now? What are the challenges? What's in the way? Think about that for a minute. What's the big thing that's getting in the way of your passion? My guess is we could all think about this one for quite a while. But it happens, doesn't it? Every one of us right now has passions and problems that are stopping us. Some of them are big, some of them are small, but it's part of being human. We all have these pains, the things that hurt us and that stop us from achieving our passions and our dreams. Damn! Pain. There are lots of pains. Maybe the door has closed, right? You were hoping for something and that said no. Sorry, no entry. That's painful. Maybe you had a passion and a dream, and for some reason, no. Painful. Maybe there's a compilation error and you just can't get it working. You know? And you decided, look, I've got to get away from the code. I'll go and listen to that guy from Spain. You know? That's a pain. Not as big as, but it's pain. I've shared that pain in the past. I know what it's like. I pulled all my hair out. Arguments, conflict in your team, with your friends, with your families. This is a big one. It's a big pain. Or maybe if you're in business or your finances have just gone, yeah. You're broke. Debt, pain. Bad news. And for some of us, sometimes you actually lose your job. Has anybody lost a job at any time? Okay, a few of us. I've lost 2 jobs. I've had lots of jobs, but I've lost 2 jobs. Okay, that's painful. It happens to entrepreneurs too. In fact, entrepreneurs, it's a bit of a risk. Can anybody think of a famous entrepreneur who really lost the job? They kicked him out. Huh? Steve Jobs. Look, this guy's doing it all. Come on. Yeah. Steve Jobs. They sacked him, as you may know, from Apple. Gone. He came back. But he was sacked, fired from Apple. Someone else got fired more recently, and it's someone we've already seen. You may not know this, but one of the other people we were looking at also got fired recently. It was about 2 years ago. Nobody probably knows. Okay. The guy who won the Nobel Prize and created the Grameen Bank, the Grameen Bank sacked him. Very controversial. But they sacked him. It happens. It happens. So there's a big pain, a big interruption to life and career. Entrepreneurship can be like this. Entrepreneurship can be like this. So there's pain. And our dreams get interrupted. And that's that's depressing. That's bad news. Okay, it happens. So what does the glass feel like when this happens? What's that? Half empty. Yeah. The glass isn't half full anymore. It's half empty. I'm losing stuff. I'm losing. This is painful. So with passion and creativity, the glass is half full. It's exciting. It's energizing. It's motivating. But then there's the pain. I saw there's another session going on called Shit Happens. Right? Yeah. Well, it does. And then the glass is half empty. If you think about the glass half full, do you want that? Do you want to feel passion and excitement and inspiration? Is that good? Yeah, well, yeah. So what is the attitude? What attitude should you have towards being passionate? How should you think about that? Keeping you up. Can I suggest that you should try to be passionate? Find the passion. Find something that you can be passionate about. It might be writing. It might be food or fashion or working with children. It might be football, right? It might be, building the next great app. But be passionate. Because passion releases creativity and it gives you strength and motivation. So if you haven't found your passion yet, keep looking. Keep searching. Searching for something that you say, wow, I've got to do that. That would be awesome. It took me too long to find my passion. I told you about some of the things I've done. Yeah? It took me too long. I hope it won't take you so long. Find your passion. And it's something we want. But then we had pain. What should be the attitude towards pain? And losses. And what are you going to feel about that? If when with passion, we should seek it and say, yes, I want passion. What do we say about pain? Does anybody want pain? Huh? Nobody wants, no. Oh, I see, nobody wants pain. Nobody wants pain. Right, okay, so don't go looking for pain. That makes sense. But does it make sense? Does it make sense? Think about this. Can you have passion without pain? What's the relationship between the two? Passion is about taking risks, yeah? Passion is about doing something new. Passion is about stretching yourself and hoping for something incredible. And unfortunately, or no, it's not even unfortunate, the reality is there's always going to be some pain. What I would say is that the best way to avoid pain is have no passions. Just, relax, be boring, sit under a tree. So this is funny. I want passion. It's really great. And it's going to bring me pain sometimes. So how do we deal with that? How do we manage that? This brings us to persistence. Why do we keep going? Despite all the pain and the hassles, why do we keep going? Who's persisting right now? Who's doing something hard and you're doing it and you're not stopping it? And it might be with your kids, it might be with your software, it might be with something else. You're persisting. You say, no way, I'm not stopping. Okay, I've got problems, and it's painful sometimes, but I'm not going to give up on this one. Yeah. And persistence, I've studied this. I've actually I'm a professor, I do research. Think about it. So we've done research on this. And what we found is I'm going to share a bit, and this is sort of, this is not beta knowledge. This is not minimum viable knowledge. This is true stuff. What we do in our lives, we put the pieces together. It might be your career, your family, the world. We're putting pieces together, bit by bit. What we're hoping is that everything will fit. And it will become complete. A total life, a total family, a total career. And it's making everything fit that is important for us. And we all you think about that. Think about how you're trying to get the different parts of your life, to fit together. Cool. But why is this important? Sometimes we think, the reason I'm doing all this, the reason why, the pointer works. The reason why I'm putting the pieces together is so I can reach the goal. The goal was, all that money in my bank account. Or the goal was I'm going to have the world's best children. Or I'm going to win the Nobel Prize. We often think it's the goal that is the reason for what we do. Is it? Is it? What is passion about? Is passion about reaching a goal? Think about your own passions. Think about how you feel when you're being passionate. What really are you doing? What the psychology has taught us, and as I said, I've personally done some research on this, that it's really not about the goal. It's not about the end. It's really about the journey. Passion about a journey is more fulfilling and exciting than achieving a specific goal. Have you had that experience? Maybe you're passionate about something and you have not succeeded. Or you tried and failed. Did that change your passion? Does that stop you wanting something, trying hard and being motivated? No. Often it does not. And we know that entrepreneurs try and try again. Who's hacking at the moment? Who's doing some hacking here? Right? Nobody, huh? Okay. All right. But the hackers out there, right? Are they going to give up? No way. They'll hack and they'll hack and they'll hack. Right? They'll beat her, it won't work, and they'll beat her and they'll hack. Right? It's a bit like that with our passions. It's really about the journey. The psychology teaches us that if you are passionate about a journey, about a process, and about the kind of activities and life you lead in the pursuit of your passions, even if you don't reach the goal, even if you don't reach the goal, or you have to try again, the psychology teaches us that people who are truly engaged with passion and they follow that passion are more energized, more motivated, feel a stronger self of value. They feel more pride about their lives, and they are happier people. Have you heard stories about, the people who won the lottery, and their lives became disaster? They lost their lives. It's often not the goal, it's having fulfillment and passion for the journey. And so that means we have to think about, what is the journey of my passion? What is my passion? And what is the journey of my passion? And that might involve relationships with people. It might involve, my activities in the world. It might involve, the things you do day by day. How am I living my passion? And am I living my passion? Or am I allowing all the pain and the fear and the problems to get in the way? Am I afraid of my passion? Am I afraid to have a passion? Have I given myself permission to be passionate? And then to allow my life to follow a passion. As I said, the psychology teaches us that people who embrace a passion and then live that way, live it out, in any way at all, those people are more fulfilled, more energized, and they persist. Because you don't give up on passions. You don't give up on passions. So the glass half full and the glass half empty. And so we're back to this puzzle. How does that work? As I said, there's probably no passion without pain. So it's okay to try and say, I don't want the pain, please. I don't need the pain. No. But the most important thing is to want the passion. Try to avoid the pain, the losses, the disappointments, the problems. Sure, you don't want that. But don't let the fear of pain dominate the life of passion. And then the two things work together very well. You can have the glass half full and a little bit half empty. And that's the reality of life. It's also the reality of entrepreneurship. I've seen many entrepreneurs, they try once, it doesn't work, they try again. Steve Jobs, he tried again. You've probably heard other stories like this. In your own lives, in your own passion. I wanted to write the great novel. You write one, they didn't like it. You write another one. You keep doing it. And so entrepreneurship, in this sense, and at my school, at IE in Madrid, we believe that entrepreneurship, these entrepreneurial instincts are fundamental to almost everything we want to achieve. Because it's the same passion that drives us. I also have to say that my colleague here who's taking a photograph of me, Danny, hi Danny. Danny's also from IE, so I have to take the opportunity to say Danny's talking tomorrow. Look him up. He's really cool. We believe that passion, entrepreneurship are part of everything we do. So I encourage you to also think that way. It's a race. There are hurdles. Sometimes you get over them and sometimes you fall down and you might break a leg, but you get back up. And sometimes you win, but only one person will win. Only one person will win. But everybody can be satisfied and energized by running the race. And that's what passion does for us. It allows us to persist And it does allow us to sometimes win. But without the passion, the pain will stop you and you probably will never win. So, as the campus party continues, right? Who's been going through a little bit of passion and pain over the last few days at campus party? Okay, right. And probably all sorts of passions and pains going on. What's it like sleeping in those tents? Is that okay? Yeah, okay, all right, whatever. But it's cool. But think about it. It's part of the passion of campus party. Sleeping in those little tents, queuing up for the bathrooms, all that sort of stuff. Yeah? Yeah? It's a part of the passion of campus party. So I hope you have a fantastic... So we've talked about this. I'd now like to say, does anybody want to ask any questions about what we've been talking about? Over to you. Yeah, I'm going to come and feel free to ask questions in Portuguese or in English. I'm getting translation. Talking to this.
If you think about it, if you can manage to bring together a glass that's half full and another one that's half empty, you can make one full glass of it.
People hear that, yeah. What a great idea. If you put a glass that's half empty together with a glass that's half full,
Hello.
You've got a complete glass. Thank you. That's great. That's a really good idea. I'm going to change the slide, right? That's great. And I think you've actually identified something quite deep. He thought I was going to say that. I didn't. You did. That's a really nice, that's a great way to put it, isn't it? That it's by putting the half empty with the half full that we get the complete glass. And the complete glass is it's passion and it's pain, and the full glass is, it's life. It's a full life when we put those two things together. Great comment, great question. Thank you. Anybody else? Questions or comments?
Uma pergunta?
Yeah.
You mentioned previously that you take a long time to find your passion. How do you have any recommendation or?
Okay. Right. So the question is, and I said, try, find your passion. And the question is, how do we do that? It's not obvious sometimes, and it might take time. And my question is, do I have any thoughts about finding the passion? Yeah? What we do, and we do this with the people who come to work with us, I would say to myself, what do I care about deeply? Now maybe that is not yet a fully formed activity. You might say, well, I deeply care about truth. I deeply care about the environment. Or I deeply care about my children. What I would say to you is, open, and you probably do this already, but I think in general terms, what I say to people is, open up to feeling deeply about something. And if I ask you the question, what do you feel deeply about? And if you say, well, nothing really, or I don't know, then I would say, step one is that really how Is that the person I want to be? And is that the person I can be? And so firstly, it's opening up to the possibility of passion by asking that question. And then there's a process of discovery, working with people, often engaging with other people who are passionate. Passion is infectious. Being here. So I think these are the sorts of things that help you to discover what your passion can be. Great question. I'm sorry there's not a simple answer. Asking the question. Good start. Yeah. Anything else? Another question or comment?
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
I think I understand your meaning is.
I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
I think that you use to the context of the meeting is about passion. Do you think the passion is like a hobby to do something with passion?
A hobby.
Hobby or to
Right.
do like vacation is
Yeah.
a good thing.
I think that's a very interesting question, because at the start of our time together, I said, think about creativity, and some people were probably talking about their hobbies. Right? I think your hobbies are often an interesting opportunity to find passions. Because when you go home on the weekend, or whenever, or you've got your own free time, what do you choose to do? Think about that. You might call it a hobby, but that could be where the passion could come from. Yeah. That's another answer to the question here. How to discover my passions is, well, what do I want? What do I like to do? Maybe at the moment it's a hobby, and it could become a passion. We got time for one more or something. Yeah.
Ei, alô. Posso perguntar em português mesmo? Can I speak in português?
Sim.
Você falou da questão do hobby. Como a gente não transformar a paixão em dor completamente? Tem gente que acaba transformando o hobby em trabalho, em uma maneira de ganhar a vida, e acaba deixando de gostar desse hobby. Então, acaba perdendo a paixão por aquilo.
Could you translate that for me? Who can translate that for me?
How can we not transform passion in pain? Because sometimes in life we begin to have a hobby, and this hobby can become pain.
Okay. Yeah, I think I understand. I think I understand.
Sometimes when
Yeah.
you turn
Right.
a hobby into a work,
Right.
and it becomes more painful.
Right, yes, yes. I think that's true. I think that's true. And I think, entrepreneurs are often like this. And I think that the reality, it's one of the hard realities of deciding to be passionate about something, that you might immediately have pain. The trouble starts today sometimes. We probably all know people a bit like that it was difficult from day one. That's a hard reality. And we all have to decide whether that's something we can do. Yeah, yeah. I think one of the things is that if you find other people who share your passion, You know, other people who like to write, or other people who want to join you in a company. Sharing the passion makes it a lot easier to manage the pain. Yeah. Mm.
Se você acender a luz, a escuridão não sobrevive, não é isso?
If you can't,
If you don't turn the light, yeah, if you don't turn the lights,
The darkness remains.
Pergunta de novo, por favor.
So if you don't turn on the lights,
Pergunta de novo.
A partir da hora que você acende a luz, a escuridão não sobrevive. E a paixão é um ato de acender a luz, não é isso?
from the moment you turn the lights on, the shadows, the darkness doesn't survive.
yes, I think our friend is making a powerful point that, yes, when you allow passion to start, a lot of the pains seem less, or it's not so bad. You turn on the lights and the shadows go away. There's a great Greek story about a monster that lived in a cave. And everybody was afraid of the monster. And nobody would go near the cave. There's a monster in the cave. And then one day, a brave young man, it might have even been a boy, said, I'm going to meet the monster. I am not afraid. And he walked towards the cave with the monster roaring, and people thought, oh, he'll never come back. The closer he got to the cave, the monster got smaller. And by the time he got to the cave, the monster was a small, friendly, cuddly animal. And he became a friend of the monster. Our fears and our pains are sometimes like that monster. And our passions will take us to the cave. Okay, it's been great sharing this time with you. This is a magnificent event, and I hope that for all of you, it's a story of passion, not too much pain, and persistence. Thank you.
Dúvidas para abrir uma empresa? Lidar com fornecedores? Controlar o dinheiro? Enfrentar a concorrência? Calma, acesse o portal de educação à distância do Sebrae. Cursos de empreendedorismo, equipe de tutores e o melhor, é grátis. O que você aprende no mundo virtual, aplica no mundo real. Acesse e inscreva-se.
personalizado, flexível, moderno. O ensino do futuro acaba de chegar na Wizard. Novo Wizard Plus. O curso de inglês que se adapta a cada aluno. Diferente de tudo que você já viu, o Wizard Plus oferece um sistema inteligente de recomendação de atividades, permitindo que você fortaleça seu conhecimento onde mais precisa evoluir. Venha conhecê-lo. Wizard, por uma nação bilíngue.